I'm going to try to cover several things here, and I do have my list compiled. You can see that's old tractor feed paper. I don't think you can buy a tractor feed printer anymore, and I'm not sure if you can buy tractor feed paper anymore. But there's a place in Phoenix that sold computer parts. Oh, they closed their doors back in the early '90s somewhere, and there was about 120 out there. I just went over there. They were closed, so I went back in the alley. And they dumped a bunch of stuff, out in the back valley. Um, like I said, it was about 120. I just grabbed what I thought was usable, including a box, some old PCs, a handful. I think a couple monitors. Just they're the old CRT type monitors. They're junk now. I've tossed them years ago. But anyway, I've still got the box of tractor feed paper. But let me start with an individual that I referenced in my last video. It was James Herbert Godman. Now, there's a Wikipedia page on him. He was an officer in the Union Army back in the Civil War, and he was either a congressman or a senator from, I believe, Ohio. Back in the mid 1800s. Then again, you can get information on Wikipedia if you're curious about him. Um, Now, Godman Air Force Base. Now that's it's no longer an Air Force Base. I believe it's a general aviation. I believe it's a private aviation airport. I believe you have to have special permission to even land there. But you can again, there's a Wikipedia page on Godman Air Force Base in Kentucky. It's close to Fort Knox. Now I've never been there. I don't know that part of the U.S. that well. Like I said, there's a Wikipedia page. There's supposed to have been a UFO sighted back in the late 40s. Was one pilot was chasing. I'm trying to think. Trying to be the story. There's a fairly famous World War II pilot. I think it was in a P-51. It was trying to catch his UFO, and he ended up crashing and getting killed. And there's some debate on exactly what happened. Some people think he pulled too many G's and passed out, and other people think the UFO had zazzed him, had hit him with some type of phaser, and killed him. There's different theories. You can read that. It's a fairly famous story, but I said that was over Godman Air Force Base in the late 1940s. It's all out there if you want to do any searches on it. Let me see. Let me get to. Well, let me cover comment I made on my last video. Talk about the people, the helplines from both from my bank, from Amazon and Yahoo. Now, let me give you the story from my bank account. Now, this started back in early November. I'd actually lost my phone. Apparently, someone else had found it. They had initially charged about $2,000 worth of stuff on my Amazon account. I talked to my bank. My bank changed my bank card. They reversed other charges. Then everything's fine for about a month, and then about a week and a half ago, they it was about $600 for the purchases. They would say that I actually purchased them. So I spent about a week and a half arguing with Chase, with Amazon. Now Amazon, when I called them, their helpline, they said they have no record of somebody got in there, hacked my email. And Amazon said they have no record of those purchases. So I don't know if Amazon is lying to me, if Chase is lying to me. Now maybe somebody from Chase wanted to get $600 from me. I don't know. Now Chase is going to have to prove I made those purchases. I certainly didn't. Someone else did. I don't know. I just after about a week and a half of arguing with Chase over this latest charges, I said I'm just going to walk away from my account. So I was happy with Chase after this point. It's unlikely I'd ever have an account with Chase again over this. Just kind of ruined me. Now the people in India, let me make a comment. Now, somebody has said in India you'll find the nicest of people and the worst of people. I think that could be said for anybody. So I know some very nice people of Indian descent. I mean, some of them were born here, some of them were born in India and come here. So I mean that as no. I don't mean anything bad to the people of India. Just the people on these customer service lines. Just reminding them that if they are lying to me, karma will come back and get you. That's all I can say. If maybe somebody from Chase is lying to me, hoping karma gets them if they're lying to me. That's why I said whoever is guilty on this, I'm hoping karma visits him. That's all I can say about that. I said, I mean, no disrespect to the general people of India, because I said that in a moment of anger that I should have been more careful what I said there. Let's see. I covered big. The RV show in WSM. Now I've got to do a job over in. I'll probably do a job over in Glendale. So on the way over there, I may stop at WSM. That's an auction place, Western Sales Management. Now I bought my pickup over there like in 2014. I bought my pickup over there. That was a live auction back in. Now they have everything's online. Everything's over the. You got to go to like WSM.com. You got to set up an account with Proxybid to bid on something. Now that if you go through their website, they'll take you through it. Or if you go over there and visit, it's like 67th Avenue, about a quarter mile south from US 85 in the city of Phoenix. I may go over there, I may not. I've got a number of videos, not recently. It's been about 4 or 5 months since I've been over there. I generally wait till I'm headed over that direction on something. That's the way I make most of my videos. I very rarely do I actually make a special trip. Let me take a switch hands here because my left hand's getting tired. So, if on my way over to that job over in Glendale, I may stop at WSM and then get a video. They've got used vehicles, used equipment for auction. He said, if you're curious, if I don't make that video, you can go to WSM.com. All their for auction stuff will come up. Their vehicle auctions are like on the second Saturday of each month. Now everything is as is, where is. There is no warranty on anything. A lot of stuff is cheaper that way. Now if you're a gearhead like me, if you know how to fix stuff, now I got pickup. I've been through the same engine, but I've been through about 4 transmissions. You don't buy something that's 20 or 30 years old unless you know how to fix something, because you couldn't afford to keep it if you didn't know how to fix it. That same thing that Sarah Antune had said. That's her YouTube channel, Sarah Antune. Chick, love your videos. She's saying if you know how to fix stuff, you can buy anything you want, new or used or whatever. If you know how to fix it, you can keep it going. You can get something and just keep it going. But anyway, I may visit WSM on the way over there, get some videos from that rooftop, and then head up. There's an RV show at where the Cardinals play, State Farm Stadium, something like it's. I think it's State Farm Stadium. I think it's the official name, but it's over there. It's close to where that job is at. I can hit it on the way back. Now the RV show is free. Now I doubt I'd go inside because I got my pickup and I got stealable stuff in there. So, and I really can't lock up a lot of stuff. So I probably will just get the RV show from the outside. Now I wanted to actually a friend of mine's wanted to go there also. Actually you can actually go inside the stadium. Now I've never been inside the stadium, to watch a game. It's just not my thing. I've covered my reasons for. Well, let me tell you why I don't. Why I was kind of soured on professional sports. If you remember, a handful of years ago, there was that one football player that was taking a knee during the national anthem, and let me just briefly cover that. Was it Kaepernick or something like that? Now, I understand what he was doing. He was making a protest to police brutality to individuals. Now, I think it does go on to some extent. I think there is some racial profiling, but I think a lot of it is how people choose to deal with law enforcement. Now, I'm going to get to that lady in Minneapolis in a separate video, because I think there's some wrongs that occurred on all levels there. I'm not blaming one particular person, but let me get back to Kaepernick. Now, he take a knee during the national anthem. Now, the dude missed a golden opportunity. He had everybody looking at him. Now, what he should have done, what I would have done, I said, look, if you're approached by law enforcement, if a cop asks you for ID, be respectful for the law enforcement officer. Say, officer, what offense have I committed? Here's my proper identification. Do it respectful. Understand what law enforcement needs to do. Now, if they do violate their civil rights or whatever, go to their superiors. You do have legal recourses if you feel your rights were violated. That's what I would do. I would cooperate with law enforcement. I have. That's the way I treat law enforcement. I'm going to get to that lady in Minneapolis in a separate video, because I do want to have that as a separate video. Let's see. I said Kaepernick dropped the ball at a football term, and the NFL dropped the ball because they had a golden opportunity to make what I feel, could have been a major difference in the way people interact with law enforcement. I think he could have been a go-between, between the cops and individuals. He could have made a big difference, maybe saved a few lives. I think you see where I'm going with that. I've covered that before. Because I understand what he's doing, but it just so soured me to watching any sporting event that I can't watch them anymore. Well, like if the Diamondbacks got the not World Series, yeah, I'd watch it. Other than that, I probably won't. If the Cardinals got into Super Bowl, they won the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. Yeah, I watched that just because it was our Cardinals. Anyway, let's see if I cover. DIY videos. Now I've covered this a number of times. Now if some chick, I'm talking about moderately interesting. You don't have to be cute, just moderately interesting. Maybe 40s to 70. If you want to do some DIY videos, now if you want to do some highly technical stuff, now I know how. I've got the job skills to, I know how to fix stuff. Lifelong repairman. Now a lot of the DIY videos that I choose not to make because a lot of what I do, now if you know what you're doing, if you observe a few common sense, that stuff, you need to know how not to stick your finger on an energized terminal, or if you're doing automotive, you know how to, need to know how not to stick your hands in moving parts. Like there are people stupid enough to stick their hand in a running fan blade. You need to know some very, very common sense things. But that's the reason I don't do a lot of DIY videos that I know how to do. If some chick wants to help me do some DIY videos, where either I talk and you hold the camera, or I hold the camera and you talk, and we could do that. And so, but it would have to include the disclaimer. Well, Vice Grip Garage has got a very clear disclaimer on the front of his videos, saying that, there's a lot of stuff that I've seen Vice Grip Garage do some stuff that, like he was changing the oil pan on a engine. He had it up on a hydraulic hoist. He got under it to change the oil pan, and he said, "Boys and girls, don't be doing what I'm doing because this is crazy." And I said, "No, I think I would have put the engine on an engine stand, flipped it over, and then changed the oil pan. Or if it's inside a vehicle, yeah, that's a little bit different. Half the time you can't get the pan past you got to lift it up to get it out of there. But I'm digressing on that. If some chick has got some other activity, mountain hiking, going to go out looking for UFOs. Again, let me know. Leave a message here. Leave me an email. I've covered my email a handful of times here. Where either I'm talking, you hold the camera, or I'm talking. Well, yeah, or if you want to do a tag team video, you go down the streets of Phoenix. I think most of the Christmas lights are gone, but if you would do like a Phoenix nightlife type thing, where we just walk down the streets, where I hold the camera for a mile walk, you park somewhere free, and we take turns videoing and driving and stuff. If you figure, I've covered that a number of times. Some chick wants to do that. Like I would have to know somebody a little bit before I would. I want to make sure somebody wasn't going to grab my camera and just leave me stranded in the streets of Phoenix. You know what I mean? I'd have to know somebody a little bit. We'd have to do something else first. Maybe we go do that waterfall hike in the White Tanks. Hey, I've got a couple of videos from that White Tanks hike. If you search my videos, White Tank Park waterfall hike. The ones I did in my camera, I have the Estrella Park. You can go down to Estrella Park and make some videos down there. Okay, that's 15 minutes. I've rattled along here too long. Okay, das Leben ist ein Abenteuer and c'est la vie. Goodbye, con Dios. Ciao.